Hey y'all, grown black folks talk back out on the climb, tiptoeing between the raindrops on a very late autumn day in San Francisco. And as you can see, the wind may or may not let us be great. Let me pull my mic so. I just had something dawn on me yesterday after I made the Johnny Major's 2 quick lessons, and there's a 4th lesson here. You know, you can't make a Corretta, a Michelle, and we'll add one more woman, a Jacquelyn Kennedy Onassis, out of a woman you're playing with. You can't make that happen. First of all, having read those text messages that have been released to the public, Jonathan Majors is learning a very, very hard lesson. And subscriber Aaron Davis said, the majority of black men who probably need to hear this are not going to change their ways. Well, going to keep learning the same lesson. And here it is. This is for all of us. When you date on potential, this is what you're doing. You're trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. That's what you're doing. You're hoping that this person will become whatever vision they have sold you, but they are not that thing. And as I shared with you before, human beings are not malleable. None of us gets to make a human being what we want them to be. We are not gods. But since black men want malleability, poor Jonathan Majors is out here trying to make a white woman, Miss Grace Jabari, into a black woman. Do you know how much that mistake has now cost him? Not only that, one thing, and I put Jacquelyn Kennedy Onassis in there so we can have a white woman discussion. I'll save her for a little later. But men who want Corretta Scott Kings and Michelle Obama, no matter what their men may be doing on the side, do you notice that they had to marry those women? Name, title, inheritance, legacy. They were not allowed to play. So if you have a woman weak enough to let you play with her body with no commitment and turn her in for another woman whenever you feel like it, by definition, you have chosen not to get a Corretta, a Michelle, or a Jacquelyn. By definition. Because women like that demand proper arrangements for the privilege of being with them. If you don't have as much sense as Dr. King and as much power as Barack Obama, or at least can show that you're well on your way, and do not have the emotional and sexual discipline to be able to handle that, then you can't have that. If you're still a boy looking to play games with girls, you can never have that. You cannot get a woman you play with and make her into a great woman. Now, about Jacquelyn Kennedy Onassis, best believe no one ever told her, you've done so well, you need to settle and marry down. No. Jacquelyn Kennedy Onassis, because remember, we're talking about a white woman. So, Mr. Jonathan Majors needed to understand something. White women will not move down to be with you. Jacquelyn Kennedy Onassis was married to perhaps one of the most famous presidents and influential of the United States. Do you know what she did for her second marriage? Do you know who Aristotle Onassis was? At the time, he was the richest man in the world. He didn't get to play with her. He made her Jacquelyn Kennedy Onassis. Name, title, legacy. So she went from an American rich family to the richest man in the world. So how is this going to work? You're a black man. You're going to get a white woman. You don't understand that they, in general, will not marry down to please you, in general. You're going to not understand that you can't make of a human being what you want, that you needed to be a stable person who's not describing himself as a monster in order to have a woman who will not do monstrous things to you using her white privilege. And you know how much this lesson has now cost Jonathan Majors? Tens of millions of dollars. Why am I telling you this before 2024? Don't get caught up. If you need a man of a certain caliber, you then need to do the work to become the woman who can be a partner of that caliber. If you need a woman of a certain caliber, you need to become a man who can be the partner of that caliber and be prepared to pay the price, because you're going to pay it one way or another. Jonathan Majors wanted to play around. A lot of black men talk about, when a man becomes high value, he has options. He sure does. He has options, but then so is everybody he deals with. And you keep playing around, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Keep thinking you're going to take other people who are in communities that are capitalistically stronger than yours and try to make them into what you want, see what happens. That's not a lesson I want to see passed on to us. Vetting is important. You cannot make let's go the other way. You can't make a Dr. King or Barack Obama or John F. Kennedy, or even a Robert Kennedy, which would be a better choice, out of whoever it is that you're playing around with. As a woman, once you've agreed to have sex with that man without marriage, once you've agreed to give him access to your body, the chances of him marrying you are very small. He has classed you as someone he can play with. So your chances of stepping up. The other thing about this in closing, mankind does not form mankind in the sense that there's this adorable little baby passing by, in the sense that we do the act to get new human beings here, but their growth process has to do with their transactions with what they learn. And how they learn is not up to us. See, only God makes human beings. That's just how that is. And then we have a certain amount of influence over other human beings, but the work that makes the Obamas, the Kennedys, the Kings who they are is the work they do with God for themselves, or at least even generally on themselves. That's not in the hands of you. I'm very sure that Corretta and Michelle and Jacquelyn were able to see that their husbands had done a level of work that would allow them to achieve greatness. It's not just that they had potential in some vision they were selling. They could see them making the steps that were on their way. Every now and again, if people are young enough, people get surprised by greatness and sometimes surprised by badness. It does happen. But they saw something in these men. And these men also knew, for me to have this marriage work out, I would stuck to it. I know somebody like that. And I was the one who told her, you're going to be this age when she's this age. So if you don't get your life together, she can get a younger man and move on. You can't from there. You're not going to be able to do that. So you need to get your life together, bro. And he did. It's good when you listen to wisdom. It can actually make your life a lot better. So what am I putting out there? Of course, always get your life together. If you still want to play children's games with sex, you're not qualified. You're not qualified. More than your age and your race and your size, you're not qualified for a higher level mate. I ran into the Prince today, my Parkside Prince. We always are running into each other as we're walking to and from. And since we weren't quite going the same way, but I adjusted my route and he adjusted his route a little bit so we could walk a little ways together. And he and I can talk about things like the single man and woman care about the things of the Lord, that he may please the Lord, without distraction. So he knows he's too old and does not want to even attempt a marriage at this point. And he's far too old for me. But I enjoyed the good fellowship with him. I could definitely be with a man like that, appropriately timed in my life, if I chose. I know what caliber woman I am, and I'm his caliber of woman. It's just that this is not going to work between us. It's not the proper time. But his is the company of the kind of men I will be seeking in the next year. And if one does deep work to convince me, I might consider coming off being single. But I know what my standards are because I've done work to become who it is who can have a man like that. And please believe me that men like that are not worried about your age and your size. Of course, some things are appropriate and some things are not. A 35-year gap is a bit much at 42, and really at any age. But they're not concerned when there's a meeting of the heart and the soul and the spirit about all that. So you have friends on one, and if the Lord sees fit to cross that over to a marriage, okay. People who have their life together are not out here trying to look smacks and all kind of other foolery that's going on. Nor are they It's another video lining up everything based on their delusions about whatever drama is going on in the community at the moment. That's a different video though. What I want you to take from this video is you have to take people as they are, and you're going to get the partner that you're fitted for. If you're toxic, if you still want to play games, then you're going to get someone who's toxic and wants to play games. People who are past that don't want to be with you. We do not want to be with you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Because if you have that kind of money and you don't know what to do with it, guess what? All you're going to do is make Johnny Major level mistakes and give all that back. Because, see, everything has a price. Dr. Martin Luther King did what he had to do. Barack Obama did what he had to do. John F. Kennedy and Aristotle Onassis did what he had to do. They paid it. Or you can pay it Jonathan Major's way. Your choice. Y'all have a good day now. Goodbye.